Family, Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, the votes are in. USC voted number one in the Pac-12 by the media press. Look, you guys remember it was Utah last year. Utah was the 2 years in a row, and you guys know they have a history. Most of the people that they pick, most of the teams that they pick, usually go to the Pac-12 championship and usually win the Pac-12 championship for a couple years in a row. So look, we're getting it from several different fronts right now. Not only are we getting it from Phil Steele, you guys know I brought you those numbers from Phil Steele, whose accuracy rate is 140 out of 134 as far as his picks. He's pretty accurate. They recognizing the talent. Now the Pac-12 media is recognizing it. Different national analysts are now recognizing it. And look, we already know what the USC fan base is thinking about this, but I want to talk about this real quick. I also want to talk about, is this the best defense that Alex Grinch has inherited? We want to talk about that, not even inherited, but just have established now that he's been here. We said that he needs a year, and the year has finally happened. Now he got his pieces around him. Is this the best year? I want to talk to you guys about what an Oklahoma fan who's a friend of mine said, and I want to talk about some of his comments as well. You know, comparing that defense compared to Alex Grinch's defense that he had at Oklahoma, are they similar? Is this the best defense that he's ever had? We'll look at some comments that he made as well. So let's take a look at this information real quick. And as you guys see here, 2023, the media has USC one. They got Washington coming in too. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always felt like Michael Penix Jr. He poses a big time threat. He is lethal. You know, they beat Oregon last year. They had an outstanding game against Texas. They finished out strong last year in the Alamo Bowl. I think Washington is just a phenomenal team, man. And my opinion, and then you see here, Utah number 3, Oregon 4. And here's what a lot of people don't realize about Oregon. Oregon lost a lot of offensive linemen. Their depth on that line, I don't think it's all that heavy right now. Josh Connerly being their best guy. Well, not the best guy, but I think they're expecting him to be one of the best guys this year. But here's the thing, number 5, Oregon State, I think they're actually too low. You could put Oregon, or you could put them ahead of with DJ coming in, and I'll show you why, because they got one of the best offensive lines in the country. Matter of fact, PFF ranked their offensive line number 3. So, and then you got UCLA coming in at number 4. So I think it could get real tricky. Number 7, number 8, number 9. Washington State maybe, possibly with Cameron Ward, maybe a little bit too low. But then you see Arizona, number 8, Jaden Delore. He's always going to be a problem. Number 9, Cal. Number 10, Arizona State. And then number 11, you got Colorado right there. And that's kind of tricky. You can kind of flip-flop. You may be, it's going to be a tough road for Colorado. And then you see Stanford. So that is the number 1. USC picked the number 1 team in the Pac-12, and that's to be expected, man. It's a big year. We've already brought you these pieces that are around them. So let's talk about one of the reasons why I think that USC is being picked number 1. Let's go. All right, this is one of the reasons, and we brought you this the other day. Of course, PFF, once again, top offensive lines in the country. And you see the Michigan 1, Georgia 2, and this is why I think Oregon State is too low, because they're number 3 ranked offensive line coming into this season in the country. This is above Alabama. So Oregon State should be ranked higher. I think we could kind of see some stuff there, man. They still got good running backs. Of course, DJU is there, man. So, and then you see USC, Alabama number 4, and then USC ranked offensive line coming in at number 5. And you guys already know we got the guys, Michael Turquin. We got all these guys, man. We got Jonah Mannheim. We got Justin Dedich. We got multiple guys, man. Emmanuel Pregna. So I think USC, the offensive line, of course, all of the freshmen, Eleni Noah, Michael Benuelas, all those guys, Amos Talele, all those guys, of course, Elijah Page, you can't forget about him. We got several different guys that I think are going to make contributions to this offensive line. As a result, we have the number 5 offensive line in the country. Now, getting to the defense, let's talk about the defense. Now, the question is out, And I asked this question. I had to ask some Oklahoma guys. I asked my guy Jay. You know, he has a podcast, Unfair Sports. He came on. He has an Oklahoma podcast. Then I asked another guy, Jason Tillman. He's just a fan, but he has some good insight, good information that he normally puts out. We have conversations on Instagram, but he gave me some information. I want to read what he said. But the question is this Grinch, Alex Grinch defense, the best defense that he had? And I'm gonna show you exactly what he had to say as it relates to that. But here's the deal. In my opinion, it is the best defense. But not only that, I think the supporting cast right now, when you look at the defensive position coach, when you look at Odom, all of the coaches, when you look at Coach Manning, when you look at Coach Dante Williams, when you look at every single position coach right now, Coach Sean Newell, all the position coach, all of these guys are proven factors. We know what Dante Williams did with Mekhi Blackman. We know what Sean Newell did with the guys that he had at Michigan. Of course, we know what he did with Thule last year. So I think all these guys, the supporting cast right now, and then we always mention Greg Brown, how he came in as a defensive analyst, how he helped develop 3 Jim Thorpe Award winners, and how he's coming and how he's putting his insight. Of course, you got Taylor Mays, you got guys like that who are going to help contribute to this defense. But not only that, when you look at the defense, previously, Alex Grinch, I think I brought you these numbers last year. When Alex Grinch first came and told you, when he came in 2018, he improved from 2019, 2020, and 2021. He improved Oklahoma's defense by 100 yards. I'm not going to show you those numbers, put those numbers up now, but you guys can go back and look. Literally improved that defense by 100 yards. However, we know that there were some things that needed to be improved. However, when we look at where he's at now, and some of the players that he got, when you're talking about potential, when you look at Corey Foreman, who's a 5-star, Anthony Lucas, who's a 5-star, and you just look all across the defense, and you see nothing but you see Barry Alexander, you see Keon Barrs, you see the Mason Cobbs, you see the Tackett Curtis, you see the Braylon Shelbys, the Sam Greens, you see all these guys that are Caleb Bullock. You got Caleb Bullock, one of the top safeties in the country, Damani Jackson. When you look at the roster from a defensive perspective, and you just continue, you can just continue to go. When we look at a 3D perspective, from a 3D perspective, you could say that this is the most depth that Alex Grinch probably has ever had. And not only that, he was known for having athletic guys, but they were a little undersized. Now, when we look at the defense now, when we look at them today, these guys are not only athletic, but look how big our corners are. Look how big our safeties are. Look how big that some of these guys that are now here actually are. So when you look at a guy like Damani Jackson, who has weight on him, a guy like Christian Roland Wallace, look at the guys that we got through the transfer portal. Now he has athletic guys, and you couple that with the Anthony Lucas guys that are not only athletic, but they're fast and they're big. They have weight. They now pushing weight around, opposed to I was talking to my Oklahoma guy. He said that they would do plyometrics, but we really wasn't focusing on the weightlifting. But I think they're doing plyometrics now and the weightlifting. So as a result, these guys are not only athletic, but they're physically strong. And we've seen that. We've seen Jamel Muhammad lifting big time weight in the weight room. So I think that as a result, I think that Alex Grinch now has his best, for what he does running the 3-3-5. You not only need the athletic guys, but you need athletic and powerful guys that's going to be able to not only get to the ball with the athleticism, but you need somebody that's going to be able to push some guys around when you're unable to use that athleticism, when you have to meet contact on contact. You want some guys that can move some weight around as well as be able to get to the quarterback. And I think that's the difference that we're going to see as it relates to the talent. Let's take a look at my buddy's comments that he made in reference to Alex Grinch. I asked him, I said, do you think this is the best defense? And this is an Oklahoma guy. Let's take a look at it. All right, so this is my buddy Jason Tillman right here, and this is the question I asked. This is him on the side right here. We were going back and forth last night, and I said, is this the best defense? And he says this. He said that's a good question. He said, and he's very familiar with Alex Grinch. He said, I would say it's about even on what we had at Oklahoma with the Nick Benito and company. He said, but I would give it a slight edge because the players that SC grabbed on the defensive side. See, he recognizes it as well. They recognize that USC did grab some big-time players in the portal. And in our freshman class. And he says this. He says, I think y'all have a little bit more speed on defense. And he said that's what it looked like last season. He says, so I'm expecting the same. So shout out to Jason for keeping it real and giving us an honest answer as it relates to Alex Grinch and the pieces that we have surrounding USC. No knock on anybody. We just having a casual conversation. And this was some of the feedback that he gave me. So the question is, does Alex Grinch have the most talent that he's had? And I will say, I will use his exact words. I give a slight edge to USC. And as a result, all we have to do, and we said this, we just have to be a top 40 team. We were 124th overall. Yes, we had a lot of turnovers last year. Yes, we led the country in sacks with Thule and all that. But as a result, we stated before that the depth just was not there. Now we want to see a big difference when you're talking about the depth and the pieces and all these things coming together and the weightlifting and everything that we've talked about thus far. USC is going to be a different team. So I think that the USC is going to produce. The production is going to be there. Alex Grinch has all the tools he needs. And that was one of my arguments last year. You can't just let a man go without giving him the proper tools. I think he has the proper tools this year. I think he's left without excuses. You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think, man. Shout out to all the Oklahoma fans who be tapping in with me, man. I appreciate you guys. And listen, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Continue to fight on. We know that Taylor Tatum will be coming up in a few hours, but until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.